Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I work for UPMC Shakeside Hospital, and I had the opportunity to listen to Dr. Webb yesterday speak about his experiences and what he went through as a child. It was so inspirational to see someone so strong and willing to just keep getting up after failing. I told my son, who's 14, how you applied to medical school 3 times and you got turned down, but you didn't give up and you kept going. And I said, try to have some of that mentality in life, son, because it will keep you moving and propel you forward. I said, you just turned out to be an exceptional human being, and you're amazing. Thank you.
I really liked Dr. Webb's speech. It was very motivational, very empowering. It shows you that no matter what obstacles you can face, if you work hard, you can overcome these obstacles to do good things within your life.
A lot of people ask me, after going through so much and everything that you went through, like, how did you do it? How did that become possible? And I always tell people the two G's. Basically, number one is the grace of God, and I'm gonna tell you about the second G. As you may have heard, I grew up a pretty challenging background in Shreveport, Louisiana. Shreveport at that time was ranked the 8th most dangerous city in the United States. They said that 1 in 4 black males would go to prison at some time in their lifetime. And a lot of my friends, including my family members, became a statistic. Drugs, violence, gangs were all too common, and I saw that kind of growing up in Shreveport, Louisiana. My little brother, as you have already heard, he went to juvenile life for armed robbery. My sister did 3 years in prison. And ever since I was younger, my mom has been in and out of prison and on and off drugs my whole life. And even to this day, she's battling a drug addiction. My dad, when he was younger, he did time in prison as well. There was actually a time where he was running from the cops and the cops shot at him and the bullet barely missed his body by a few inches. But luckily, he turned his life around and became a minister and pastored a church for a number of years. And I just remember in Shreveport, Louisiana, he used to take us out into the city and minister to the people and hand out food to the homeless. And that's just the type of person that he was, and he's my role model to this day. In high school, I became introduced to a medical magnet program called the Fair Park Medical Careers Magnet Program in Shreveport, Louisiana. And it's a program that kind of exposes students to careers in medicine. And I credit that program for kind of saving my life and getting me off the streets in Louisiana. And that's the reason why I'm a doctor today, because of that program. That program gave me essentially a goal, something that I can imagine. Because the only goals that I saw in Louisiana are trying to have the biggest rims, the nicest car, the shiniest jewelry, the most money, and the false illusions that I saw that was surrounding me. And this program gave me a goal, something that I could imagine. I didn't think it was attainable because I didn't see black doctors or someone who looked like me go through that same process, but I had a goal. One of my professors in medical school stated that failure is not in the falling down, it's in the failure to get back up and try again. So what I did was I kept trying. I read a lot longer, went back to the drawing board, took preparatory courses, hired a tutor, tried to strengthen my application, and I applied again. I got rejected from every school that I applied to. At that point, that was probably the lowest point in my life because all of my family members, I was the first person in my family to go to college. My friends, a lot of them were in jail. And people that I did surround myself with, they looked up to me. And I had to explain to them that, hey, I'm not going to be able to go to medical school. So I tried again, strengthened my application, studied a lot longer. I quit my job that was working because I wanted to be a doctor that bad for something that I can imagine. And I got accepted my 3rd time on the fly. I was watching a TED Talk a few weeks ago. It was about a professor who left her job to become a psychologist. And she wanted to study kind of students and adults in all different types of environments. Her and her team, they went to the West Point Academy and they studied the cadets. They tried to predict which cadets would make it through the program. They went to the National Spelling Bee and they tried to predict which students would make it the furthest. They partnered with private companies, and they tried to predict which salespeople in that company would be most successful. And their question, the main question was, who is successful here and why? In all of these different contexts, there was one characteristic that kind of emerged as the most predictor of success, and it was grit, and that's my second G. Grit is having perseverance, it's having the stamina, it's having the mindset to continue working towards your goals on a day in, day out basis. Not just for a day, not just for a week, it's not just for months, but for years, for a prolonged period of time. And when they looked at the results of the study, it wasn't the physical, the health of the individual, it wasn't their IQ, it wasn't their physical well-being and whether their family members helped them get through that process. And all those different types of environments, it was grit. And that's what I had when I was going through the years, I had grit. I wanted to leave you all with kind of 3 different messages that I wanted to leave with you. Number 1, I would say believe in yourself. There's going to be no one that's out there that's going to believe in you more than you believe in yourself. There's going to be people that tell you can't do this, you can't open your own business, you can't be successful in this particular field, you'll never get into that, you're never too smart, you'll never get it. But you have to believe in yourself. And your brain is like a circuit, as we learned in medical school. It's composed of different components of your brain, your thalamus, which regulates your temperature, your heart rate. You have your cerebellum, which is responsible for your balance. And so all of these different circuits that work together to achieve the common goal. The researcher who did that study, people came up to her after the results of the study came out and asked her, what can I do to build grit in my students? What can I do? Teacher came up to her and said, what can I do to build grit or have my kids have grit? And she didn't have really a clear answer, but she told them that there was one thing that she could possibly think of, and that was growth mindset. And growth mindset is a concept developed at Stanford University, and it's the belief that the ability to learn is not fixed. And people who have growth mindsets, they don't believe failure is a permanent condition. And that's what I believe. Number 2 is to give 110%. I give talks all over the U.S. and kids, they're most important, the most 2 common answers that I get, they want to be rappers or football players or basketball players. And I always tell kids, that's okay if you want to be a basketball player or football player, but you have to put in the work. And there are a lot of people who say, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a teacher, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a football player, but they don't want to put in the time, the effort, and the hours. They want to sleep in throughout the day. They don't want to put in everything that it takes to get to that point. And I tried to explain to them that an NFL player, these people, they put in the hours and they put in the work. They get up in the morning, they go work out. They work out in the evening time. They meet with their trainers and their dietitians. So basically they put in the work, and you want to be successful, you have to put in the work, you have to put in the hours. Number 3, and my last, I would say, never give up. Throughout my whole life, I say everything that I've been through, all the failures that I was faced up against, the people who told me that I couldn't do it, I had friends who laughed at me when I told them what my plans were, people who told me I wasn't smart enough. And even in medical school, doubting myself, didn't think I could do it, but like I said, you have to believe in yourself. And if you constantly tell yourself over and over again that I can't do this, I will become an orthopedic surgeon, I will become a lawyer, I will become a teacher, and actually believe that in your heart that you can do it, you will become a reality. My professor, failure is not to fall down, it's the failure to get back up and try again. If I can go through everything that I've been through in my life and make it to this point, I think you guys can too. Any goals or aspirations that you may have. Thank you for having me to.
My name is Jonathan Dietrich. I'm from Penn State Health University in Hershey, Pennsylvania. I had the opportunity to hear Dr. Webb speak. His story was a fabulous story of determination and grit. He was willing to share with us. We had a great experience, and would love to thank him for his time. Thank you.
I had the opportunity to hear Dr. Webb speak, and so it was his story and listening to the challenges that he faced that made me really feel good that, you know, for my daughter, anything is possible. As long as you put your heart and your soul into it and you don't give up and you keep trying, you will eventually succeed at your goals.